why I don't, and you probably don't, care about sports. Mostly. So this has been a topic that interested me in talking about. Specifically in as of late, right now the World Cup is going on here in the States, and everybody's talking about it. All like it's like one of the hottest things going on right now, and I can understand why. Um, you know, but it kind of overall, like I don't really keep up with the games, and I don't keep up with sports in general. My one sort of caveat, the one team that I do, I guess, stand over, but only really whenever the season is active, is the Chicago Bears. And I have my reasons, basically because of it. It's like a fond childhood memory of mine to, like, after getting back from church every Sunday, we'd go to my grandma's house, and most times, like, the game would be on, or like listening to the games on the radio with Jeff Joniak. If you know, you know. Um, that's my only one caveat. That whenever the season starts, yeah, I'll be all into it. And I mean, I won't go into a crazy detailed amount, like looking up stats and like sports betting and stuff like that. Never that. But I will follow the games, and like I'll try to tune in, if I can. That's my only exception. But everything else aside from that, I just don't really care about. And it's I've kind of been wondering as to why. I think it comes down to me being the type of person that I am, and you probably watching this, you being the type of person that you are, is that for the longest time, I sort of kind of look at everything that encompasses my life and the things that I spend time on, and I really try to know what my ROI is, or my return on investment, and what it will yield. And that's just how I like to live my life for the most part. And again, like, I'm not 100% on that all the time. Obviously, like, as I mentioned before, the Bears games, when they come on every Sunday or Monday, whatever, or really, aside from that, just some kind of drama television, like, maybe maybe I'm exposing myself here, but I mean, I have been known to watch Love Island, never on my own, really. It's more so with my girlfriend, but I feel like that's only. It depends. Like, if it's a day where it just was a long day at work, and I just literally cannot, my brain just like needs to decompress and it can't think of anything else to do. It literally cannot do anything else, like higher functioning, that requires like active thought. Like, I would like it, like watching those shows, it does feel good. I'm not even gonna lie. Which is a catch-22, because in the same way that it kind of numbs your brain after such a long day, if you haven't done something, or at least personally I feel, if I haven't done something in a day where I feel accomplished and I feel like I'm like made or did things that kind of are going to yield a better result for me in the future, then at a certain point I just kind of feel disgusted with myself watching Love Island or any sort of things like that, or just really anything TV, or YouTube wise, even honestly YouTube, because I mean, I do watch more YouTube, way more YouTube than I do TV, and I try to manage what I am consuming, and if it's gonna yield, if it's gonna garner something, like make me more smarter or knowledgeable, or provide insight to some of the thoughts that I have, then that's kind of what I sort of gravitate towards. But kind of going back a little bit as to why I don't care about sports, it's it's more or less the fact that you see these star athletes that are at the top of their game. Like, the feats that they do are quite impressive in what's the word I'm looking for? Relatively speaking, we could say relatively speaking, like, and because there's different levels of there's amateur, there's like sort of beginner, and there's pro. There's different levels to it, basically, to like those sports. And obviously, like, having played sports, because here's the other caveat too, I like to play sports. I couldn't really care, and I don't really, I guess maybe because I'm not that good, but I couldn't care anything about basketball. But if it's like my brother's or a friend that wants to shoot hoops or something like that, then I actually could enjoy that because I'm actually doing it, and it's like it counts as physical activity, which could be a lesser, more form of working out and staying fit and active and things like that, and moving. So I do like to partake in things like that, and even so, like, I'm starting a volleyball league next week. And before that, a couple of weeks ago, I was doing soccer league. So it's not like I don't like sports. I just don't like to watch and give up so much of my time and be so in the know about sports, because it doesn't yield anything for me. And I think that's the important thing to realize, is that, at least from how I think of things, and I'm sure many of you watching this can think of these things, is that it doesn't feel personal, and it's not yielding anything. It's not giving you anything back. Like, I can make music, I can edit vlogs, I can sing, I can play sports, I can visit family, I can play video games even. And all those things kind of just, for whatever reason, for me, they just feel like they're actually yielding something. Maybe less the video games thing. Maybe that's like a different form of just brain numbing and brain rotting. And even then, I don't do it all that often anyway. But like with everything else that I mentioned, yeah, I feel like I yield something. So if I work on music at the end of it, as well as the process of making it and getting the enjoyment out of that, I'll have like a piece of art and a piece of music that will supersede me after I'm long and gone. And so it's hard to get invested in and to care about things that I feel like don't add to my sort of overall value as a person. And that's kind of a harsh way, like, and maybe that's not the best way to put it, and maybe it's not like I could put it in a different way, but that's kind of how I look at things, right? And so going back to sports is why I don't care to watch them or care to know what's going on or the latest trades or stats or controversies, because it just doesn't yield anything. Like, time is finite, right? And it's like, I want to focus on things that are actually going to garner something, whether that be the material aspect of things, or it's a sense or a feeling of accomplishment in myself. And on top of that, it's just like, well, you're seeing all these players that are really striving, that they're at the apex of their craft and things like that. And kind of an idea behind that is that, well, I'm trying to do the same thing, but time that's spent watching this is taking away time that could be spent focused on doing the things and the ways that I could be at the top of my game, and I can really excel, and I can be really exceptional. But you get so bogged down in the bread and circus of it all, and you haven't moved the needle forward to having a more exceptional sense of self, or a better sense of like accomplishment in your life. So, and that's kind of, it kind of makes it hard sometimes too, because typically, like, and maybe especially as a guy, that it's just kind of automatically assumed that you follow these things. So when you get into conversations with people who do follow that, and who are more, who don't think in this way, it's kind of makes conversation a little hard, because they'll be talking about specifics and ins and outs of the players and the teams and stuff like that, and it's you just kind of have to like smile and wave and nod and wave and like, yeah, oh yeah, like, so it's kind of it's difficult, because you remove that aspect away of communicating with people. And maybe that's another video I can make in the future as well, is like, typically it's, I would like to have more deeper interactions and conversations and meaningful conversations than not. But it's so rare that you can like connect with someone on that level. That kind of things like sports is more, is less, it's less of a hassle maybe, and less intimidating of a prospect of having a deep, meaningful conversation with someone. But yeah. So basically, that's kind of the gist of it, right? That it's not really yielding anything for me personally. I'm not getting any better because of me watching the World Cup. I'm not getting more in shape. I'm not further along in my career and my goals financially because I'm watching the World Cup. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you could probably like pick apart some aspects of it. And again, like I said, it's not like I don't watch any sports at all. Like, mostly I don't care, but there are some things that I'll partake in that are, you know, popular in the culture that I can speak to a little bit, but it's just not one of them, you know? So yeah. I think that's pretty much all I have to say, really. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I know there could probably, there can be some counterpoints to this kind of thinking, whatever. I'm sure there is. But I mean, fundamentally, I still feel like it's true. I mean, if you were to take the time, take the mental energy and the time that you would spend watching that and put it into something, even like a fraction of that time, like, you could just imagine where you might be, how further along you might be on achieving like what you want to achieve and do. So yeah, I think that's all I got for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.